Man, what it do, man. I am definitely excited about this one tonight. Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to my crew. Hopefully you guys are ready for tonight, man, because I'm definitely excited about this. Let me know how everybody's week one was, man, because my week was amazing. Had a great week, man. I cannot even complain. And I'm sitting up in here, man, trying to even make it more amazing for this broadcast tonight with my special guy, man, Mr. Tim Roberts, man. He's definitely going to be joining in on this great broadcast. So you guys don't want to miss this. Trust me. I've been telling y'all, man, that February is getting ready to be a month that is filled with back-to-back guests. All the guests, my last guest was officially booked today. And I'm telling you guys right now, all guests are booked and we are ready to go. All systems go, man. So you guys want to make sure that you are plugging in, tapping in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time, 6 p.m. Mountain time, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure y'all are tapping in because I'm telling y'all it's getting ready to go down. Shout out to my guy, Ken. What's up, man? Week was great. Listen what Ken said, man. Look what he said. The week was great. Looking forward to this. So this won't be able to sit in for the entire whole one. Work late, but you can count on another view by me on the replay. Appreciate doing what you're doing, man. Big shout out to you, Big Ken, man. Thank you, man, for showing love, man. My guy Ken always showing love, always going on ahead and tapping in right, man, and making sure he show love on the broadcast. So big shout out to my guy Ken, man. Each and every single week, I'm thankful for him coming in, man, on the broadcast and giving us some wonderful nuggets, man. He giving us some wonderful testimonies, man. And, you know, all the time, man. Ken, like I said, is just a faithful viewer, but not just that. He's actually somebody who's taking the information and going to another level with it. So shout out to you, Big Ken, man, each and every single week for tapping in and making some stuff, man, pop off, man, for us, man. We're thankful for that. I'm not lying to you, brother. You don't know how big that is for us in this broadcast, especially on doing what we do each and every single week. I tell people this all the time, man. I said, man, look, it's not easy to be able to go on ahead, man, and do what we do week in and week out, man. And especially, man, the entire month of January, we had Mr. Jamal Titus himself holding it down for the crew. So big shout out to Jamal Titus, man, who held it down for the entire month of January. Even had my son in on one of those sessions that we got a chance to really talk about, man, and really dialogue on some things. So really ecstatic about that, man. I'm not lying to you, man. This one is going to be a great night tonight, man. You guys have been talking about it, man, since the last broadcast and was saying, man, Drew, when is he going to come back? When is my guy Tim going to come back? Well, you know what? Tim Roberts was a busy man. He's got a lot of other more stuff that he's actually has rolled out. So I'm excited tonight on the broadcast to let him go ahead and share to you guys what he's doing tonight on this broadcast. And I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited, man. I do want to talk about a couple things before we bring Tim in, man, tonight. Again, make sure you guys are setting your dates for tonight, which is February the 1st. Also set your dates for, what is this? The 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. The 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. We got back-to-back guests, and Tim is just going to point y'all in the eye because he's coming with it strong, man, at the very beginning of this thing. He's leading off bat, and, you know, you put your big hitters up there, man, and so he's going to lead off bat, man, tonight and really start dropping some jewels, dropping some knowledge, dropping some nuggets, man, so that you guys can go ahead and be a part of everything that's moving forward and everything that's going on, man. I'm really excited because when I see the trajectory of the way, man, the economy is going, you know, you have to be able to have people in place who can truly go ahead and make a difference. And we got somebody tonight, man, Tim Roberts, who will be able to make a difference, to be able to help navigate you from wherever that you're trying to go to wherever you're trying to go next. Whatever you're trying to do next in life, you have to have some people who are intricate in your life and intricate in moves and making moves for you. So big shout out and everything, man, to Tim for being able to tap in tonight. Now, I want to talk about, this is February. The month of February, it's going to be lit, man. We're going to focus this month on your focus, making sure you have your right focus, making sure that you have your financial, some financial gain coming to you. But most of all, making sure at the very end of this month, you're going to see the last two segments, that your faith is intact and in line. Your focus, your financials, and your faith. Those three are the biggest things that we're actually coming in. And we're going to literally go ahead, man, and make sure that you guys are moving into another dimension, especially now that we're really got the broadcast moving, man. Shout out to the YouTube subscribers, man. Everybody who subscribed on YouTube, tapped on in on YouTube, man, and are literally, man, I'm telling you, helping change the lives of what we do just from y'all participation, seeing the views, seeing where we was at, seeing where we was, and now to see that the broadcast is kind of literally taking over and gaining some ground. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, y'all truly want to go ahead and tap in and make sure that tonight, this is the first night that you guys have marked off on your calendar, because you're going to have to check it off on your calendar, man, after Tim Roberts finishes with you guys. I'm telling you this tonight. And not just that, we love the love on all of the shares and the replays. The replays is what just gets it for us as well. Make sure you guys are sharing the content. You guys are inboxing people or whatever you guys can and sending this to them through their messenger, via DM, via YouTube video, whatever platform that you guys have. Make sure you guys are literally getting that into where you guys need to get this into. Let me see, what is Ken saying real quick? He said, thanks for the recommendation of the book Atomic Habits. I can't put it down, Drew. Thank you so much. I love it. Listen, man, you are so welcome, Ken, man. Listen, I went on ahead and we recommended that book at the end of last year, but then also at the beginning of this year on some of our broadcasts. And Atomic Habits, I'm trying to tell you guys this right now. Atomic Habits by James Clear is probably a huge game changer for some of y'all, man, that if you guys read this book, it will literally help start shifting some things in your life. It will help start moving some things that you need moved in the right direction. Now, I ain't going to say that it's going to be all fluff and all of this, but I'm telling you this right now. Ken can tell you it's going to be some huge moves if you guys go ahead and take this information and apply it to yourself. Ken, am I lying? Apply this thing. Sometimes we look at things from a standpoint of saying, you know what? I don't know if I can do this or not. You know, I don't know why do I react this way? I don't know why I do the things that I'm doing. I don't know where you have a pattern of habits that you know, whether willingly or unwillingly, that you constantly do. This book, I'm telling you, Atomic Habits by James Clear, was also a bestseller as well. Definitely will help change the dynamic of the way we do some things and shape in life. Again, it's Atomic Habits by James Clear. Like literally, it's clear. I can't see you. You're clear. I'm seeing straight through you. You're clear. James Clear is the author. And I'm telling you guys this right now. I want you guys to have a healthy 2022. Listen, you seen all last month, an entire January, me and Jamal Titus got on here and literally, man, laid out a foundation of some stuff back to back to back to back. Back to back to back to back. I cannot tell y'all no lie. We laid out some stuff. If y'all haven't seen those, go watch the replay. Go watch the YouTube channel, Lambo Drew TMT. Go watch the Facebook. We got it on Facebook. Watch the replays. And if you got to play that over and over and over again, those, I think we did 4 videos, Jamal, it was 3 videos, 4 videos. If we got to replay that over and over and over again, replay it over and over again, because I'm telling you, it's going to help change your lives. We're just trying to put you in a better position that you can go ahead and make some maneuvers in life. That's all we're trying to do. But it all works from the inside out. From the inside out, you guys. I'm trying to tell you this right now. It works from the inside out. You cannot go ahead and manifest the thing on the outside until you start getting the inside right. And so quick, in life, we try to go ahead and manifest this thing. Oh, well, I see myself doing this. Well, yeah, you see yourself doing it. But what do you have on the inside of you that will help sustain you and pull that out of you that is literally manifesting in your hands, that is tangible? And so most of the time, you guys have a vision in your head. I understand it. You guys have something in your head. Well, man, look, I really want to go to this level. I really want to do these things, but I don't know how to get there. Well, sometimes, man, it's some of those things that you literally harbor, those silent things, the things that you don't tell nobody about. That's why I'm huge on accountability partner. If you guys, and I talked about this on a previous broadcast, don't have an accountability partner, please get one. Get one today. Get one the very split second, man, that this broadcast is airing or once it goes off. Get you an accountability partner that will hold the flame and fire to you. So now you're not out there saying, well, you know what? I just want to just chill and relax back. And now all of a sudden, the Bible says, man, idle man is the devil's playground. So most of the time, you get fed the wrong stuff in your mind and in your spirit all day long. And you're trying to figure out, man, how am I going to go ahead, man, and get this information that I'm literally processing in my head that is negative and literally is going to battle with the positive. And then the most of the time where you guys lose the war at, and I'm giving this to you right now, if you pick up the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, you'll actually see some of the things that I'm talking about. You lose the battle because you choose to pick up all the negative stuff that is in your ear, that someone is telling you, that someone is speaking to you, that someone is speaking about you. And then your life starts to become a downward spiral because of the fight that is on the inside of you. Can't decipher what's good or bad, which decision to make, right or wrong. And now you start making irrational decisions because you know what? You have premeditated yourself to continue to keep thinking over and over and over on that very thing that is literally going to lead you down the path of destruction. But you decide to say, well, you know what? I will pick something up that will go ahead and help cope it. So we pick up stuff like, we pick up drugs, we pick up alcohol, we pick up pornography, we turn around, we pick up blasphemy, we turn around and pick up speaking things against people because we're picking up the very things that inwardly we have a fight on the inside of you. And those are things that you have literally premeditated over and over and over in your head. Literally, I literally want to let you guys know something. And I don't come here to really talk tonight too much about this because I got my guy, Tim Roberts, but somebody out here needs to hear this. If it's just for a couple of minutes, I literally want to let you know, you are living out the story that you are retelling yourself inwardly. I'm trying to help somebody out here. If you are literally inwardly telling your story, I'm never coming out of this. I'm never going to get better. Things are never going to change. It's never going to happen for me. I'm never going to be successful. My business is never going to grow. I'm never going to be married. I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to be full of joy. I'm never going to be full of peace. You are keep retelling that story on the inside of you till that story literally goes on ahead and it manifests itself on the outside of you between actions. And then you find yourself, how am I doing these things? Why am I thinking these things? Why am I so mad? Why am I so furious? Because you're retelling the story of the battle that you have within the inside of you, which is good or evil. That's all it is. You're retelling the story on the inside of you, which is good or evil. And whatever dominates is literally what comes out of you. So, they say out of the heart, the abundance speak out of the heart. Well, the reason why it's speaking is because your story is either speaking to you, whether positive or negative, inwardly. And it's literally dominating the way that you manifest things on the outside of you. So if you truly want to dominate in this game, make sure you get your story straight on the inside. What are you telling yourself? What are you believing about yourself? Today and everything, man, I got to say this. I was literally, man, I was driving. And as I'm driving today, man, I heard these words, man. And the words was, do you believe it? And I'm talking to one of the other guests that's going to be on literally like 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now or so. So you definitely don't want to miss. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, we're going to get your faith, your focus, your finances, and all that in line this month. And I'm talking literally into my head before I even talk to the guests. And when I sent the guests something, you know, I remember hearing literally the only story or the part of the Bible that's working for you is the part that you believe. Honestly, the only part that's working for you in your life is the part that you believe. What do you believe about yourself? What story do you believe about yourself? And I remember I started, this is me, y'all. This is me personally. This is Drew, Big Drew, Lambo Drew coming to y'all to come talk to y'all in y'all face and let you know some stuff, man. I'm trying to tell you this right now. I literally heard a voice came up in me and said, speak what you believe. And then I started shouting. I'm like, okay, God, it's got to be you. Literally, I'm speaking what I believe. He said, Andrew, do you believe it? And I said, yeah, I believe it. Why would I wouldn't believe it? See, sometimes you actually need the comforter really to go ahead, man, and keep you in check outside of the people that's around your circle. That's a different story. That's on the faith side. So we'll get to that later on this month. But you need something to keep you in checks and balances, pretty much like a judicial system. Between the judicial and legislative and executive branch, you need something that keeps you in check. So get you an accountability partner, because I'm telling you right now, an accountability partner will be able to call some stuff out in you. Like, hey, man, you seem off today. Oh, hey, girl, you seem off today. What's going on with you? What's really going on with you? And I'm trying to tell you this right now. Make sure you are literally subject to that person, and that person is subject to you, and you can accept criticism, or you can accept and everything, man. Hey, something is wrong. Something is off. I didn't go ahead. I didn't meditate today. I didn't pray today. I didn't go ahead and stray off today and everything, man, on some things for myself so I can get some things right with myself before coming to you. And if that is off, I'm telling you, your whole flow is off. You need to go ahead and make sure, check your flow. Have an accountability partner to be able to check where you're going. What's your direction? Where are we moving to? What's the next step? What is this? The accountability partner will keep you in line. Hey, how's your day going? And then you probably might tell an accountability partner, like, man, look, I cussed 3 people out today. Felt like cussing 4, 5 people out today. Or I sit back up in here, man, I ended myself up at a bar. I don't know how. I ended up at a bar stool. Or I turned around and I ended up in a crack house. Don't know how I ended up in a crack house. Your accountability partner should be there no matter what situation you're going through, no matter how deep or how low that you may see of the story that you're telling yourself with on the inside of you, and it's sinking you down lower and lower. You need to go ahead, man, and flip that story, change the story in the narrative, and turn around and start getting all the positive things and speaking all the things that you're going further with. Some of you believe that your story has been playing the same story year in and year out. I'm telling you what I know. Been through it, done it, got the picture. You guys are literally playing the same story. You guys are believing the same thing is getting ready to happen. Oh, well, man, ain't nothing good going to happen to me. I seen this before. It played out just like it did the last time. I played out just like this. And literally while I was in the car, I'm telling you what I heard today. I literally heard it and everything, man. The man who literally, man, the woman for 12 long years who had the issue of blood, you got to remember, man, she was literally going ahead and telling a story. One of these days I'm going to be healed. But every day, every morning, she probably got up and literally and everything, man, the story that was being told with her, like, man, if I can just go ahead and be healed, I'm going to be healed. I'm going to be healed. I'm going to be healed. And the story every day never changed for her for 12 years until there was a man in Galilee walking by. And that man and everything, man, came back and said, hey, man, I'm in here, man, and I'm tearing up shop. I came here on an assignment. Some of you, once you're connected to your assignment or you're connected to your golden key or your golden doorway, it's going to literally go ahead and break things open for you. You're going to be like, man, I went through the same cycle for 12 years. And literally, if you remember the story and everything, it records when she touched the hem of his garment, she was instantly made whole. What do you believe? Are you going to believe whatever that is coming that he has literally put in your mouth or put in your spirit? What do you believe? What story do you believe? What narrative do you believe? And that's how things will begin to change for you. I can bring as many guests as I bring on here, but I got to be able to get the story on the inside of you right. No matter how it looks like it's a rerun, no matter how it looks like it's deja vu, no matter how it looks like, oh, I've been here before. I know how this is going to end. I know how this is. What story are you believing? And do you believe who has literally put on the inside of you something greater that literally is calling you out from where you've been at? And every month, every week, we try to call you out from where you've been at on this channel. We call you out from literally coming back from a place that you have been literally saying, I'm dying here. I'm not getting any better here. And at this place, we're literally calling you back out to let you know that there's something greater in you, that you do matter, that you are loved, that literally there's a family around you. There's people who are connected to you that can help bring you or push you into another level, that you can begin to start living that life that you truly always dreamed if you only believe. Remember in Everything Man, when Jairus and Everything Man, they say Jairus' daughter and Everything Man, the father came and Jairus' daughter was dead. And the Bible says in Everything Man, Jesus turned his head and he said two words, only believe. Literally, man, I got a guest coming on in a couple of weeks that is her title. I sent that text to her in the car. Literally, when I sent that text to her in the car, she went in pandemonium because literally while he was dealing with me and speaking to me on some things and say, do you really believe it? Do you really believe I own a cattle of 1,000 hills? Do you really believe it? Do you really believe that your story will change? You have to believe this thing. If you don't believe this thing, it will not work for you. No matter what you say, you will end up in the same situation that you was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, because you literally have to change the narrative of the story that you believe. And it's unfortunate that this past week, we found out about the model and everything, man, who had just won Miss America. What was this? Or Miss USA 2 years prior to. And she climbed all the way up to the top of the building in New York City because the story of the narrative of what was going on inside, no matter how much accolades or how much money you got, she climbed all the way to the top of the story of her New York condo and jumped to her death this past weekend. Now, here was a lady that 2 years ago was being celebrated as the most beautiful woman, man, in the entire United States. Now, 2 years later, her story and the pressures of life, because there was no accountability partner there, because the story that she was believing in, what she was retelling herself, literally was the story kept going over and over and over inside of her. Literally. And then all of a sudden, that enemy, that lying devil came whispering in your ear, you're no good to nobody. Who are you good to? Look what you done did. You're no really good to nobody. Nobody really loves you. Nobody really cares for you. They won't care if you kill yourself. And that's what the enemy comes and he does. You know, the scripture says, man, a little leaven spoileth the whole lump. And that's literally what has happened in today's society. A little level spoiling the whole lump. And the moment that it spoils your lump, you're sitting up in there like, man, how did I get to this place? Why is my life so messed up or so jacked up? Why am I not feeling what I should be feeling? Because what I should be feeling should be way more than where I'm currently at. Because I can tell you why. The story that you continuously to tell yourself. If you change your narrative of the story that you start telling yourself every day, you will watch it manifest on the outside of you. And that is why every week we come on here on the Lambo Drew Show so we can help change the narrative of your story. And believe that your story will change somewhere over in these messages, somewhere over between the guests, somewhere over between the testimonies, somewhere over between all of the success and all of the things that we're doing, that your narrative of your story will change. And someone won't go to sleep at night and be restless, tossing and turning on the pillows back and forth, that they'll have peace once they come from out of this message or once they come from out of this broadcast, that something would click on them where they would actually get an idea where they know that this idea will create in everything a lifetime of wealth, or this idea will help somebody. This idea will be beneficial to somebody. This business will begin to start moving in a direction that it needs to move to be a driving force, or my marriage will become better, or my kids will become better, or my business or my job, everything around you to become better. That's why you have the Lambo Drew Leverage Show week in and week out, and we're here for you each and every single day. I'm trying to tell you this right now. What do you believe? What story do you believe? Every week I want to come on here, man, to let you know, what story do you believe? I'm here to challenge you. Again, I literally had to go on ahead because I felt that this thing, some people have been in a burden, and this burden is literally holding you down. It's like a wrecking ball that is literally holding you back. Your story that you are believing is the story, I'm trying to tell you this right now, that you are perceiving inwardly. Believe the right story. Come on here. Come get some joy. Come get some peace. Come get some love. Come get some financial advice. Come get some mental advice, marriage advice, counseling, business, personal, all of that. Come get this on this channel so you can go back and be effective of wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, so you can be effective and literally go ahead and be able to dominate in those arenas that you are in. All right? So, man, we're going to bring my guy Tim in. We're going to definitely bring my guy Tim, man. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to get to these questions real quick. Tim, go ahead, and hopefully he's on here still. He's like, man, Drew, you done came back and motivated. Jamal Titus, shout out to you, JT, in the building. I talked with him today. He was in that American Express Lounge. He's having himself too much fun and stuff like that in that American Express Lounge. I think he was in Florida or something like that in that Amex Lounge. Yes. James Clear, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Jerron. My guy Ken said, you ain't never lied, Lambo Drew, man. Thank you, Ronnie, man. Yes, sir. Jamal Titus in the building. Linda Williams, Prophetess Williams is in the building. Shout out to you, Prophetess, man. She's on here showing love. Miss Ronnie Ryan showing love, man. Shout out to you. Yes, believe. You have to believe, man. If you don't believe that, this stuff will never change. Ro, you know God knows. Pam, shout out to you, man. So true. Tractor Trailer in the building. Tim, where you at, man? I just seen you pop up. And yes, change the way that we are thinking. Yes, we are. We need to change the way that we're thinking, man. I'm trying to tell you, 60 floors that lady dropped from, man. My wife said, man, 60 floors. Golly, man. I'm telling you, the mind, man. The mind. And he was in Miami. So, man, yeah, shout out to you, man. Definitely, man, you guys tapping in, man, tonight. But now I know you guys been waiting for this. I got to bring my man, Tim Robinson. I'm sorry. I done took all this time, man, motivating and just talking with you guys, just facting with you guys on here just a little bit, man, today, man. You know, before we bring my guy on the show. So without further ado, here's what my guy, business, Tim Roberts, man, building business firm, man. There he goes. He is in the building. How you doing, Tim? Yo, world, hit your mic.
What's up, Drew? How are you doing, brother?
Man, life is good. Lambo is in the building. As you see, man, I had to kind of go off on the scale out there just a little bit, man, and try to just help motivate and talk to some people, man, out there, man. You're looking good, man.
Man, thank you. You're always looking fresh yourself, dude. I love the entire talk that you had prior to introduce me. I appreciate the gracious introduction. I absolutely loved how you were talking about the internal conflict in that speech and that whole dialogue we go through and we internalize. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had to deal with that my entire life as well, man. And I think the thing that stuck out to me the most on what you just said was the only part of this story that's true is the part that you believe in.
That's it.
Man,
That's it.
that hit me, and that's the truth. And that's been my reality too for my entire life. But it was really, really, really difficult for me to be able to open my eyes and understand that I have the ability to be able to change what I believe. So, man, sorry for the little glitch on the introduction and the muted button. I was watching the YouTube, and then I joined the thing, and the YouTube was still going, so there was like 2 mics rolling.
Tim, you are good, my man. Look, you know you are good with me, man. I don't care what happens if you be muted for like 5 minutes. Your words that you do, man, and what you left the broadcast this last time was just in shambles. Everybody was like, yo, we got to try to reach out to Tim. And I'm like, yo, I got to sit back up in here. We got to get Tim even on a bigger plan, because we was trying to get this platform the last time, if you remember, right, Tim? And something happened where we couldn't get the platform the last time, and something wasn't working right. And I was like, Tim, you was gonna be, you know, this is supposed to be. And I wish that I really had that, because that first one has so many jewels in it, so much knowledge in it. Dude, it was bananas, man. Bananas, totally bananas.
Hey, that's okay, because we're going to drop some jewels in this one too. You know how we do. We're always trying to impact everybody around us and everybody we come in contact with. You know, nothing happens by accident. God's got a big plan, and everything falls into place exactly how it's designed.
Talk to him, Tim. Talk to him, man. Look, for those who don't know Tim talked about his little bit of his testimony the last time, of exactly where Tim was and how Tim got started and stuff like that. But, you know, for those who don't know, I let Tim give you a quick recap of what happened and stuff like that, man. Talk to him, Tim.
Yeah, so my story is a little bit crazy. We went over it a little bit last time, and I think the hardest thing for me myself to do throughout my entire journey in life is to talk about myself. It's really easy for me to focus on other people, you know, where their problems are, where their powers are, where they're blessed at, or the issues that they have. It's really, really, really easy for me to pick out your problems. But whenever it comes to, you know, picking out my own or seeing where I go wrong, it's really, really difficult. And I think that's one of the reasons that I had such a challenging early life, is because I felt like I was brought up right. I felt like I had all the answers. I felt I knew what was right and from wrong. And then, like, whenever I started to slip down the wrong path, it was really difficult for me to get back aligned and get on the right path, because in my head I had it all figured out. So I really, really enjoyed where you were talking about the power of manifestation. Dude, I'm 37 years old, and it took me a good 30 to 32 years to even understand like that's a reality, or people are capable of doing it. Dude, I'm a believer of you know, I believe in Christianity too. I'm very, very blessed that God has done for me what he has in my life. And right there, like in the beginning of the Bible, it says that we are godlike creatures. Like, he created us in his image. Now, what stands out to me the most in that is, like, if you analyze like what God is, God has the power of, you know, creation. He created us. He created the heavens and the earths. And if he created us in his image, then that means that we also have the power to create, you know? So I don't know. A few years back, I kind of started getting my life back on track, and I started, you know, challenging the people that I hung around with. I started changing my circle, and I started identifying who had what I wanted in life, and I started following their direction and the things that were working for them. I was like, well, this person's doing really well in life. Here's what they're doing. You know, I follow their story, and I started incorporating those things that they're doing. My life starts to change. You know, like it's never been in my plan or my design to, like, come on here and talk about my story in front of, you know, anybody. For real, I'm really good at business. I do really well at helping people establish business, as well as credit, as well as funding and all that. But like, you start bringing a story into it, and I kind of want to like shy away or hide in a corner, because like that's not what I'm comfortable doing. But what I found, like, over the last, you know, decade of my life, is I experience the most growth when I get uncomfortable. You know, that's like, even when you're a kid and, you know, you're, you know, 5, 6 years old, and you start to get those growing pains, you know, it hurts because you're growing. There's two types of creatures in this life: those who are growing and those who are dying. If you look at the life cycle of like a flower or a plant or any animal, they grow until they stop. And once they stop, they start decaying and dying. So I know if I don't like continue to put my life in order and continue to focus on the things that have worked for me, and continue to focus on the things and the ability that I'm able to learn and incorporate into my life, then I'm going to start dying. And I'm not ready to start dying yet, man. I'm just started living, you know.
You just living, man. You young, 37, man. Come on, man. You ain't hit them 40s yet, man.
Yeah, well, if 40 feels any worse than 37, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to 50.
Dude, you gonna make it, man. I don't even want to hear that, man. You in Orange County, so People in Orange County always make it, bro. I don't even want to hear
It-
that, man. Stop
It's
talking to them.
difficult out here, man. It gets, really, really cold temperatures, 60, 65 degrees. Sometimes I have to put a jacket on whenever it gets up to like 60 or gets down to 62.
You know what, man? Stop playing, man. They got people, man. They got people like my guy, man, on here, Andre Broom, right here, man. He's in Columbus. He will tell you and everything, man, something different than what you saying right now. At 60 degrees, you putting a jacket on, man, because they catching it in Ohio, man. They catching 20 and 30 and 40 degrees, and sometimes down to 10 and single digits, man. So it's just not. It's not always good, man. 60 degrees. That's a warm up here, man. We put the top down at 50, man, in Denver.
I had the top down today. I'm not messed up about it. I grew up in the Ohio Valley. I know what that cold weather's like. That's why I moved out here to the warm weather. You
Yep,
know?
yep. I remember you was down in Kentucky, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the majority of my life down there. But what I found is like going through elementary school and high school and like going to college out there. There's I guess there's opportunity anywhere where you're willing to look for it at. But it wasn't my plan. It wasn't what was set out for me. And
Okay.
I've moved around a little bit. I've lived in Arizona for a little while. I lived in Georgia for a little while. I even lived in Florida for a little while.
Okay.
I've been all over the place, and what I found is like I've had the most opportunity to grow since I've been in California.
That's good.
I've met a lot of really good people. I've made a lot of really good partnerships, and I think it's allowed me um, the most growth opportunity. Because whenever I got out here, I started getting plugged in. I met people like you and some of my
Yeah.
other business partners,
Yep.
and like we all put each other on. And I never experienced the camaraderie of entrepreneurship until I made it here. And then once I did, I guess you can grow anywhere you're at, but this has really allowed me to blossom.
That's good. That's good. And that's what when I seen the sunny pictures, you was in what? Was it Coachella a few weeks back and stuff like that, man?
There were some trademarking issues, but yeah, it was like Coachella 22 day one.
Oh my God. I seen that and I said, this guy is having too much fun in California right now, man. I said, I don't know if he's even ready, man, to be out here, man, and come back to come visit any other state outside of California, man. Just beautiful, man. You had a great time.
I try and always have a great time, man. I just because, like I said, I've had like a lot of experience with struggle in my life. So I wake up every morning. I try and hit my knees and thank God for the
Yeah,
opportunity to have another day. So I try and live every day to the fullest.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So I absolutely love to travel. I haven't had a lot of opportunity over the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything that was going on, but been able to travel around a little bit, and I'm looking forward to a lot more travel here in the ensuing years. It's crazy how this whole entrepreneurship and business starts working because the first like definitely a year or two is just like work, 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 work. Like I think like being a business owner is the only job that you'll give up a 40-hour job to and trade it in for an 80-hour work week. And you don't look at it like that when you get in there and you start doing it. But like whenever you're building yourself and you're actually trying to build something that's going to create a future for you, it doesn't really feel like work. I mean, there's moments that feel like work, and of course we get like exhausted and you know um, get burnt out on it. But it's all for a bigger plan. It's all
yeah,
part of something bigger than going to a corporation and working for somebody else for 9 to 5 every day of your life. Minus your Saturdays and Sundays if you're lucky enough to have the weekends off. And but yeah, like the first few years it's just work, 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 and there's like little to no payout on some occasions. Like you may have some weeks where you make like no money at all, and then you may have some weeks where you make 10, 15 grand a day. I mean, it's crazy how big it fluctuates or how variable those differences are. And it's cool because like if you're consistent, my mom had told me one thing whenever I was growing up, and this is like through the good, through the bad. She said, Tim, she's like, um, how did she put it? She said, she's like, I can appreciate you because you're consistent. She said,
yeah,
at least when you're consistent, I know what to expect. And that's
yeah,
through like the good and the bad. So if you can like take that same consistency and implement it into something new in your life, if you're not already doing so, that the seeds that we plant will turn into flowers, and we will reap a harvest from it eventually in the future. The trick is to just like stay consistent and stay plugged in and continue to do it.
Yeah.
Um, one of my favorite quotes is like the whole quotes about your thoughts, like you said, whenever we wake up in the morning, our thoughts start to turn into, to our words become our actions become our habits, and then your habits become your character, which becomes your destiny. So if we can, wake up every morning and we can focus on our thoughts and then write down our words and create a plan, and then we can implement that plan with action, just following up with a little bit of action each day, then I mean, we're going to change our destiny. We're going to change our future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that you have not just that. I've literally, man, seen a lot of the stuff that you actually come with, man. I was like, man, Tim's thoughts. I don't know what does he think with, because he literally starts coming up with stuff, and the next video, Tim will post something. I'll be like, man, what has been in Tim's thoughts, man? Because literally it starts manifesting on the outside. I was just like, man, Tim, I think this is a game changer for a lot of business owners or future business owners, or even people out there, man, who are looking to be inspired. Like, where do I go from here? And literally, I watch how a lot of the content that you share, that you expose, like, hey, man, if you guys really want to go ahead and jump with us, this was a thought of mine. Now it's in fruition. You got to tell me and talk to me, man, how from the last time you was on the show till literally this time, those thoughts that you literally said, man, hey, I thought of, what came to pass of that now? What's new in the game? Because, man, Tim, you keep elevating, man. Every time I see you.
Thank you, Drew. And it's crazy the way that your thoughts become your reality whenever you follow it up with action. I remember whenever I was working in corporate America, I was working a 9 to 5. I had this idea about how I could do business better than the job I was working. And
Mhm.
I talked about it. I try and be really, really careful about what I say, Drew,
Right.
because I understand the power of your words.
Yep.
God spoke the world into existence,
Yep.
and if we're like Him, that means that our words carry weight as well.
Yep.
But I stopped speaking negatively.
Yeah.
Like I cut it out. I mean, I curse a little bit here and there. But I don't say negative stuff about myself. I don't say negative stuff about other people, because I know it's like there's power behind it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
whenever I was working a 9 to 5, I started talking about the things that I could do better. And if I had my own business, this is what I would do, and this is what I would incorporate.
Right.
And I think one of the last videos I did on Instagram, if anybody's watching this, they want to follow me, it's at Business Funding Firm. But I was talking about I was talking about shoot, I just lost my train of thought.
When the last time when you was on this, you well, you gave me your Instagram. I'm gonna put that right now in here, man, where you can follow you at. But go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, but anyways, I was talking about manifestation. I was talking about how I would do better at a business, like if ever I had a business, and
Right.
then like some of the things. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was talking about how 2022 is the year of automation, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy the way that we talk, and like the things that come to pass after we say these things. But like as far as like you were asking, like what's changed in my life, is everything that I do nowadays is automated. Like even down to the business partnerships that I have, and like the business that we conduct together, a lot of it's automated.
Yeah.
There's if you can follow a lot of people and learn a lot of cool stuff on the internet. Like what I recommend to anybody do is follow people that are doing better than you are, and then figure out exactly what they're doing and implementing that into your life. One of the biggest things that I found was scaling a business with systems, talking about automation. Like even for my website, like going in and like automating the entire process from like giving out information to being able to capture new information on a potential client and be able to convert them into a new sale or a new client, to be able to build your own business. But everything that we do, we have the ability to automate, Drew, just like your show, how you automated the introduction of it, and then
Yeah.
how you automate like what your topic is going to be out be about, and as well as how you automate the audience. Like we live in like a really, really blessed age where everything can be automated. One of my business partners right now is actually doing automation. We're doing radio frequency identification. I won't
Okay.
give too much more than that, but we're starting to incorporate this on a large scale in a lot of the manufacturing and production facilities, just because the technology is cheap enough now for us to be able to implement it. And we can be able to keep track of literally everything, whether it be live inventory, or location, or just data. You know what I mean? And you can track all of that in a system, and it's all automated. All you have to do is scan it. You can upload software to your phone to where you can scan these tags, and it'll tell you everything about the product that you're looking for.
Okay.
Like as far as automation goes, like say we're tracking like inventory on a product, and you have like several set staging areas for a logistics company where it enters the building, where it goes into its particular staging area, and then when it exits, you can go as much as to add a scanner into one of the rooms, and every time that product or that tag enters that room, it changes the status, whether it comes from entering, or is changed from the quantity is changed to exiting the building, or even incorporated into like transportation. You can see exactly where it is by marrying it with GPS.
Okay.
But the trick is being able to automate every portion of your life. That's what I've been trying to do for the last year solid. Like I said, all the way from like the systems that I use to run my website. I started off with like a little GoDaddy website. It was
Mhm.
super inexpensive. It cost like $20 a month, and I moved from that all the way to Kajabi. With Kajabi, you can create digital courses, and you can put that content out and then automate it with Zoom and have mastermind meetings to learn how to consult with each other without giving away the value of your time. You
Okay.
can hop on a Zoom meeting and meet with 10 people about the same topic, and one of the questions may answer everyone's question. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
Yeah.
trick is like identifying what it is that we need to automate and then consistently working towards it. Um, so yeah, that's just a little bit about what I've been doing and some of the things that we're implementing. The trick is just starting. And I know you were talking about like a lot of people that are going to be focusing in on this, maybe current business owners, or they may be new entrepreneurs, or maybe they've been in existence for 10 to 15 years. But like circling back to the beginning of the conversation, like the goal is growth. In
Yeah.
order to grow, you have to be willing to change. I have to be willing to change to continue to grow and be a better person and do better in life.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed with business owners here over the course of the last few months, especially since the pandemic, is a lot of businesses are transferring from like real world brick and mortar stores to online. Look at Walmart and look at automation.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we're hosting, Amazon automation. A lot of these small business owners that are producing product can't sell it in a store no more, or the rent got too expensive and they lost too many clients or too many customers to where they had to move to an online presence. Now, if you were to fail to move to that online presence, then your business is going to shrivel up and die. But now,
Yeah.
if you go follow some people that are scaling with systems or doing some type or sort of automation, or helping you grow your marketing through an online brand, even like with videos like this, we're developing an audience. You're developing an audience. It's probably adding to my audience a little bit,
Oh
and we
yeah.
can implement that into what we're going to do in the future, whether it be helping people, whether it be helping build business credit, whether it help do personal credit or funding, or the thousands of other ventures, or venture capitalist ideas that are available. You
Yeah.
know.
So so let me ask you something. The automation side for you. You say for the last year you've been automating everything. I mean, is that possible for somebody who's out there like, man, if I decided to reach out to Tim, like Tim could actually help me automate just about everything like he has done within the last year?
100%, 100%. Now, it's not going to be something that's just automated overnight. It's not
Okay.
like, hey, you hit us up and then we're going to change you from a brick and mortar store or one that's went out of business to having 100,000 clients and pumping numbers by tomorrow. But
Right.
100%, we can come up with a game plan. We can write it down, speak it
Right.
into reality, come up with a plan, and then
Right.
incorporate it to make it a reality, for any business owner.
So it doesn't matter because I get a lot of guys, man, and I was talking with, and this is why I couldn't wait to get you on the channel. I ran into a lot of guys that say, man, Drew, I don't do social media or nothing like that, but I do YouTube. and they couldn't wait for me to go on ahead and say, man, if this guy comes on YouTube, I'm going to watch his show. And I know most of those guys, man, are out here. They say, how can Tim help me? Because some people think that, what you're doing is just some small, little bitty fly by night type of thing. It's probably some small little tie by night. Who can you help, and what's the audience that you can help, Tim? Let us know that.
That's a really good question, Drew. And I've struggled with that question myself, from going anywhere from like social media marketing, ads, or targeting specific clients. I mean, and this applies to every business owner, and you can do a lot of research. Like, the topic goes on forever. The first thing I suggest doing is researching Neil Patel if you're trying to identify like your potential audience or how to grow your business.
Okay.
Because like that's the number one thing that I do is, like, if I want to grow one area of my business, I'm going to do my first research. I'm going to research it first, figure out who's the best at doing that, and then I'm going to follow the advice that they've already done because they're successful at it.
Right.
So as far as like YouTube is a great platform. It's probably one of the most underutilized platforms that exist.
Yeah.
And then your cost per for advertisement is like one of the lowest. And video, especially short clip video, or even a channel, converts higher than a lot of the other medias that are available, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it is. So again, ideally, you just want to have to identify who your target audience is. And the way that I do that is I figure out exactly what it is that I'm trying to market. So if I'm trying to market funding, it's going to be different than if I'm trying to advertise for personal credit repair or business credit.
Right.
Just because it's a different demographic that's going to qualify first for the offer that I have. And then second, the offers are going to change based off of what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if we use funding as an example, I know the underwriting criteria for funding. I know what the banks are looking for. So I know who's going to qualify for that. So I'm going to target that information. Ideally, in order to qualify for funding, if you're an established business and you're trying to get like term loans or SBA loans or any type of loan aside from, like pandemic assistance, EIDL and PPP, which is going by the wayside anyway, the banks are going to want to see multiple years in business. They're going to want to see established revenue, which is better than $100,000. And they're also going to want to see no current debt with good credit. So if I'm trying to market towards that person, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first find out what those people follow. So if they're on YouTube, I'm going to probably target towards people that are following some sort of entrepreneurship. Plus, depending on the industry that I'm gauging, whether it be like manufacturing or production, I'm probably going to focus on the people that are looking to automate production, so people that are researching videos on how to automate production. So ideally, you just have to identify who that person is and then find out what resonates with them and then target the people that follow those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Total makes sense. Yeah. I had a lot of people who reached out and they said, Andrew, how can he help me out with me? So one gentleman in particular, I can't name no name. He's successful in business, and he was going on a business trip, and he said, we began to talk about you, and he said, man, right now, the situation he was in, he had an automated store. The store that he had automated, I think they had just like recently shut it down or something like that. And he just got it back up. He had to take out a HELOC loan from that to be able to go ahead and pay off the debt. And the debt was on his personal credit card debt rather than business credit card. And he said, his wife just went hysterical. He was just didn't know what to do. I mean, and I literally told him, I said, you have to get and watch the broadcast Tuesday with Tim Roberts, because I'm telling you right now, there is some people that can help get you out of a situation because this is what you do, Tim. So, I told him about you. I said, man, listen, I definitely going to want to reach out to you because he didn't know exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, when he pulled the HELOC loan out, he said, dude, I really didn't have the amount of money to be able to go ahead and do this HELOC loan, but I had to do something. And I think that there are so many people who are in kind of like a survival state to where they'll see somebody say do something, and he was telling me that this other guy was running his business or whatever and was collecting a split, but it wasn't adding up to his personal, and it was tanking his personal to where he was just like, dude, I don't know, what am I going to do? How would you help somebody out in a situation like that who has leveraged everything on their personal, which we have a lot of people who watch the broadcast, they have leveraged a lot of different things on their personal. And how could you help them out to get out of that situation?
Yeah, for sure. So I think like for most entrepreneurs or most business owners, it's not that we lack resource, but it's that we lack knowledge or information.
Yeah.
For pretty much any problem that arises, especially when it comes to funding, we just have to know what's available. You
Okay.
know, so one thing that I try and coach, and I was actually wanting to bring this up as a topic anyways,
Mm-hmm.
is the difference between um like a cash-based accounting period versus an accrual-based accounting period. A lot of
Okay.
business owners operate heavily on cash, or they leverage their own personal finances
Okay.
before they have the ability to. I guess I'd rather need something and not I'd rather let's see, need something and have it
Not need,
than
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
have to have something and not have access to it. But I guess like where I'm going with that is that there's a lot of different opportunities on how you can correct that issue. A lot of the times before it comes up, a lot of times like once it's coming up, it may be too late because you might already be over leveraged by that point, or you might have to, you know, take out a HELOC loan, or maybe even take out a mortgage on your house. But prior to all that happening, if you have a little bit of knowledge, or you're willing to surround yourself with resources and gain access to new knowledge, you can create several outs for yourself by establishing business credit prior to that situation arising.
Okay.
So like you initially leverage your personal credit, not leverage it by spending it, but like build out comparable credit for your personal, just to help you get access to like the business credit. And that's what we specialize in, is teaching people how to first off build business credit, and second off how to scale personal and business credit funding.
Okay.
So that would be like where I would go initially, whenever the business is newly established, or it's been around for a couple years. Even if you've been around for a few years, you're already producing revenue, start to establish some type of business funding or some type of business credibility, to way that way, if you end up in a pickle, you have some alternatives.
Right.
You're not having to take like the last thing that's available, or take out a merchant cash advance against your business. A lot of people aren't aware of like the available options that do exist.
Okay.
Just by using QuickBooks, you can get revenue based loans based off of your invoicing,
From
just by
QuickBooks.
using that software. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other alternatives. I know we talked about a few of them the last time we were on
Mm-hmm.
here, like some of the revenue based like plaid based accounts like Divian,
Yep.
Torpago,
Yep.
Brex. Those are awesome, but what a lot of people don't realize is by leveraging some of those accounts, the ones that report like Brex or Divi, is you can start to develop your business credit, and you can show like both purchase and paid history. Which, if
Okay.
you're going to a bank and you're trying to access money for your business, they're of course going to want to see that you have profit coming in, but they're also going to want to see that you have a good history with
Okay.
other accounts. A lot of people, just because they don't have business credit established, default to the personal. So when they're going to the bank sees, hey, there's no business credit history anyways. So we may be willing to help you, but we're going to have to run your personal credit. And then our
Mm.
decision is going to be predicated on solely that factor. And what happens is, I just had a client the other day, and she had a similar issue. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a whole lot of personal credit,
Okay.
and she didn't have any business credit established either. But what
Okay.
she did do was she went to Fundbox, and she was able to take out a loan against her accounts receivable, and she was able
Mm.
to get provided like a $20,000 loan. But because she didn't have business credit, they ran it in her name, so it's reflecting against her name, her personal credit, and it's not even building for her business. It's reflecting against her name on Experian business, if that makes sense. So even
Yeah.
once she pays it
Yeah.
off, she's not going to have that history unless she, calls Experian and tries to finagle the account to match up with her, the name of her business under her articles of incorporation. But like by having access to the knowledge, and it gives you opportunities to where if you end up in a pickle, like first off, hopefully you already have some alternatives, and second off, at least have somebody available like you or myself that
Yeah.
has the ability to connect, your business with a financial institution, or at the very worst, like a venture capitalist group.
Okay.
Depending on the industry, a lot of the times it's a good go-to, just because, like, especially like right now, while the interest on a lot of investments isn't paying out very heavily.
Yeah.
We're having, like, it's about to change, but we have like all-time lows as far as like real
Yeah.
estate investment and the cost of interest. So these venture capitalists are looking for a way to make money with their money. So
Mhm.
if you're like in the real estate industry and you have some previous experience, I mean, I have a list of at least 4 or 5 different people that can help your business get access to some capital,
Okay.
either for real estate or for business. Putting, staking a shareholding percentage of your company, or a stake of your profit for an investment. But I mean, there's
Okay.
options out there. You just have to know that they exist and know who to talk to approach to be able to get approved for them.
Do you know how huge what you just said was? Because I literally, as far as the business owners who were literally, man, started really saying, man, Drew, I'm subscribing. I gotta watch this channel. I really got to learn some stuff. I really got to connect with you guys. I literally can tell you that most of the time they never knew this information that you just spoke of. It was never presented to them, or the level that it was presented on, they didn't think that they would be able to get anything or any much from it. So what you're saying, man, is so like you don't know how gold that is, what you're speaking on, Tim. Because if somebody knew that they can actually leverage, and that's what the leverage show is, being able to leverage the business for a percentage, for a stake, or for a share, and then being able to receive a loan back from that, so that they can go ahead, man, and further their business. So many people, man, would be out of a pickle, man. You don't even understand how many people that I know is they are floating their personal credit to be able to manage and go through life and business. What
Yeah, that's one of the things that we try and do, is teach people how to separate their personal life and their personal affairs from their business. I mean, that's one of the things that can get you jammed up worse than anything in the world, is if you're commingling your business and your personal funds. Is if say, for, worst case scenario, I'd hate to see if it did happen, but if somebody comes after you and decides to sue you because they don't think, they feel comfortable they got the services that were rendered, and you
Yeah.
have commingled funds, then they're going to be able to, the attorneys, or whoever's prosecuting you is going to be able to come after you, your personal and your business finances. You know,
Mm.
so I mean, like I said, knowledge is power, and if you're willing to invest a little bit in that knowledge, then you're gonna change your entire outlook, especially from a business perspective. And I deal with a lot of new businesses, and I think that's like the number one issue that we have issues with, is
Yep.
clients that don't know stuff exists, and then
Yeah.
they go get in a jam, and then they end up going and getting merchant cash advances against their business, and they end up paying 200% interest on a monthly basis, and it puts more people out of business than it ends up helping.
Well, so we're speaking on, and this is what we have a lot of people who watch this channel, from existing businesses to startups and not. And I had a lot of people who are in the startup phase, and they say, "Man, can Tim help me out with being able to get business, and even in the startup phase?" Because sometimes, man, they may have a couple of vendor accounts or something like that, just to start growing business and start the relationship back and forth with the trade references. But they want to know, like, hey, man, is there startup money out here for startup businesses? And what would your response be for that?
Yeah, so I don't know that I would go as far into detail to say startup money, but I'll tell you what, there's startup opportunity. And
Okay.
to elaborate just a little bit, look, I have a client, he's got a business that's a year old, right? He's only been doing
Okay.
business for a year. Technically speaking, he operated under a sole proprietorship for a few years before that, but as far as
Okay.
being on paper goes, he's
Right.
been established for 1 year. So he
Okay.
has an auto repair shop, and
Okay.
one thing that he was able to do is be able to turn some revenue on reselling used tires, right,
Mm.
for his business. He saw a need for it in the industry, so he started getting a good deal on them, and then he started reselling them to different vendors. And
Okay.
he came up with a need for his business for an additional vehicle so he could purchase more tires and deliver them to more, retailers so he could make more money. He comes to me, he said, "Hey Tim," he's like, "I got about everything that I need as far as my business goes. We've got like through, some of the, I would say, like co mentorship between me
Okay.
and one of my other partners. We've taught him how to develop relationships with credit unions and banks. We've got like 2 houses approved for him. I'm not just talking like, $100,000 house. I'm talking like $2 million worth of houses in his personal name, as well as a business. I think we got him like a $250,000 business loan, as well as cash access. So it was like $100,000 just from one bank in credit lines and credit cards for the business. So he had plenty of
Mm,
cash access, right? But he needed a vehicle,
right.
right? And I've been working on his business credit for him, teaching him how net and vendor credit works, how to
Right.
establish a paydex score, as well as leverage, account reporting history for Experian and Equifax, just to develop an entire A+ business credit profile. And he said, "Tim, I need a truck." I was like, "Okay, well, we've been working for a while. You got a nice little business credit score established. We got you some money. A lot of this is reporting." I said, "I'll tell you what. I'm gonna fill out an application for you. I'm gonna send it over. I want you to take it to GM." So he takes this application to GM, and their inventory is super low because there's a issue with the processing chip. So
Yep.
they're making like
Yep.
20% of the fleet that they normally would make. So
Yep.
they're down to like one flatbed truck and then just like two Silverados, like the larger Silverados. He needed a flatbed truck so he could put a trailer on it and then they could start hauling these tires. And
Okay.
he went into the dealership and he applied for this truck. He picked out the one that he wanted. He applied for it. They approved him for it with 1 year in business without a personal guarantee, just in the business name. So, and the funny part is like once they approved him, I can't say the guy's name, but they said, "Hey, would you like another one? We can get you another one right now too."
You mean to tell me he could have got two
He
vehicles
could have got
in his
two
business
trucks
name,
with
and this
without a personal guarantee,
without using his personal guarantee, meaning
no
that
personal credit.
leveraging his running his credit and using his personal credit. This
Hey,
is
look,
all straight business.
they called him because he had left after he signed the paperwork. They said, "Hey, come back. We need your driver's license so we can record your identification."
Wow. Wow. Dude, do you know how a game changer that would be for some people, man, who can actually go ahead and purchase vehicles in their business name because they've only known to put it in their name and assume the debt and the liability of that vehicle. And that's all they know on their personal side. Now,
Exactly. And
you'll be
then
able to go
they
ahead and
lose
show them how to do that on their business side.
100%. And then they're actually gaining access to the tax write-off as well because it's a business purchase and it's put in the business name.
Now, isn't it that there's a law or something like that, man? I heard the gentleman Rondy Lambert speak on this, and Rondy Lambert said that it's a certain percentage of the size of that vehicle that can be written off up to percent. Right? Is that truth?
Yeah, so I'm not a tax expert. Definitely not like I definitely didn't study tax law. But I've done a lot of research on tax law, and I know if a vehicle is like over 6,500 pounds, then you can write off the entire amount as a business expense. So
Okay. Okay.
other than that, usually it's just like mileage, or you can kind of finagle it as far as like the down payment goes, but it's the law is going to vary. And I would definitely
Okay.
recommend speaking with a tax professional prior to expecting to write off every portion of the vehicle, and it also depends on how you finance the vehicle, whether it's in your name or the business name. But I've had clients that have written off entire like exotic sports cars. You just
Yeah.
have to make sure that you have a good tax professional that's going to be
Dude.
willing to assume the risk for you, so you don't get caught up in it.
So you mean to tell me, it's Lambo Drew. I'm on the Lambo Drew Leverage Show with Lambo. You mean to tell me, and I got to make this clear because there's going to be thousands of people that's going to watch this replay. You mean to tell me that I can write off a Lamborghini? Now, Tim, I'm just saying, I can write off a Lamborghini, but I got to make sure I got the right guy who's doing it, writing the Lamborghini off for me.
I'm just saying, I know people that have written off exotic cars before or had their tax professionals write them off. So what I'm
Okay.
saying is the law that I'm aware of is the vehicle has to be over 6,500 pounds. I'm pretty sure the Urus isn't quite 6,500 pounds, but I
Right,
know you
right.
do have some room to play if it's in the business name.
Okay, okay. Wow, you guys, y'all heard it out of the horse's mouth himself, Mr. Tim Roberts. Like, this guy is dropping jewels on here, especially during tax time, man, because tax time is upon us now. And we have a lot of business owners that may be looking into that ballpark of like, man, what can I write off at this expense? My tax attorney never told me this, or my CPA never told me this. I mean, like, what is some of the biggest hangups that you see when it comes down from taxes not being filed to people being able to get funding with you guys?
That's a really good question. And this is one of the biggest hangups that I've seen in general. I was actually just talking to, it was my nephew's like business partner, and we were talking about
Okay.
it today. Is he was needing access to funding for his business? He's been established for like 4 or 5 years, and he said like over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, he's actually written a loss just so he wouldn't have to pay taxes. Well,
Wow.
whenever you're trying to finance stuff, sometimes it's better just to bite the bullet and write up a profit at least for a year so you can
Okay.
show that your business is profitable, so that way you'll be eligible to get access to funding.
Okay.
So and that's in like, just for instance, if you're going into Chase Bank and you're trying to get a business line of credit, one thing that they want to see is, in order for them to extend you a business line of credit, providing you meet the requirements, which is 2 years in business as well as tax documents, is they want to see that you're making at least um, twice the amount of annual net revenue that you're applying for. So if you're
Okay.
applying for a $50,000 line of credit, they want to see that you're making a profit of $100,000, if
Wow.
that makes sense.
So they want a profit of $100. Not even it can't be like gross, for that year of 100,000.
So this is just based off of a conversation that I had with an underwriter at Chase, but
Okay.
that's what they had revealed to me.
Wow. That's a huge game changer of seeing that they want to know that it's double in profit. I kind of heard that it was something similar like to that when it came down to like auto financing. Like they want to make sure that you had a vehicle that was high enough that was actually reporting on your report so that you didn't have to PG off on that. Is that true? Any truth to that?
Yeah, so as far as like the vehicle financing goes, and this is it really depends on which vehicle dealership you're going to, and it depends on who they're applying for the funding through. But as a general rule of thumb, they just want to see comparable credit. And this is how it was explained to me by a dealership up in Laguna Beach. They do a lot of exotics, and this is what
Okay.
they've seen be approved. Is they say that they want to see comparable credit, whether it's on your personal or on your business. They want to see
Okay.
like half the amount that you previously financed for your last
Mm,
vehicle. So if you're trying to get $100,000 vehicle, they want to see that you've paid off a $50,000 vehicle, or you were
okay.
approved for a $50,000 vehicle prior to that.
Okay.
Now it changes a little bit whenever you're getting into business funding and business credit based approvals or fleet financing, just because it's all relevant to your business credit profile. So you don't necessarily have to have had a paid off vehicle for the same amount of money, but they want to see that type of transaction history on the business credit, depending on which bureau they're pulling. So now,
Okay.
depending on which company that you're applying for the funding for, whether it be GM or Ford or Chrysler or Dodge or any one of the other companies that are out there, like Ally, some of the independent brokers
Yeah.
that will approve vehicle financing, a lot of them will be able to approve you on a vehicle if you have comparable credit. They
Okay.
like to see paid off vehicle history, like on PayNet. But a lot
Yeah.
of times I've seen them approve stuff because you had comparable credit on your Experian report that wasn't reporting
Okay.
as equipment or vehicles.
Wow. So now let me ask you this, and I know this is part of your ballpark. If the client came to you and they said, "Man, you know what? I have a clean file. I don't have anything on that." Is that some of your specialty that you guys got products or anything truth that you can help them out to be able to attain those vehicle financing as well as the business funding?
100%. So again, all credit is it's the same whether it's personal or business. It's just
Mhm.
creating the matching criteria for the underwriter when you go in and you apply for something. So
Okay.
it makes it a lot easier if you know what they're looking for. So you can develop the credit to show what it is that they're looking for, to show that you're a limited risk and your business is worth at least the amount of the funding that you're trying to achieve. You know, if you go into Chase and you're trying to get a $25,000 credit card, or if you go into like one of the non-personally guaranteed Visas or MasterCards that are out there, they're going to want to ensure before they approve that account that your business is worth at least, at a very minimum, the amount of the card that you're trying to get approved for. You know,
Wow.
so if your business isn't worth, like, if you can't show that your business is worth $15,000 on paper, then they're not going to give you $15,000. Now, there's a lot of tricks to showing that your business is worth $15,000. Some of the tricks are what we do. We actually have like free course information on the website at businessfundingfirm.com, where you can download a free guide to build business credit, and we'll
Okay.
teach you how to write out your lender compliance. Some of these
Okay.
things include a website, a business phone number, directory listings. All these things limit risk and show that your business is legitimate and established.
Okay. So you guys have products. You guys have that literally on businessfundingfirm.com, you said?
Yeah, so the only thing that we have for sale on that is we have access to reach out to an agent to speak about what options are best for you. We have a digital course that's available on businessfundingfirm.com. I'll actually this will make it a little bit easier. Can I throw a link in the comments?
Yeah, I just went on ahead and let me see. Did that come out right?
Let me see here. I don't see it just yet. I don't think I'm on YouTube, so I don't know that I can see like the comment that was listed. I'm in the StreamYard.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I just posted it on there. You would see it. It's businessfundingfirm.com that I posted that you guys could go on ahead and reach out to Tim. Go to that website. Let me know if you can. You should be able to type it in on the comments. Let me know
Yeah,
if
here
you
we
can.
go. I found it right here. It's not showing the. Oh, actually, hold on. It says private chat. Here's comments right here. I got you.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Let
We'll
me
go
see if
on
it'll
here.
allow me to add one on here. We actually have a qualification form to where all you have to do is like answer a few simple questions.
Okay.
Of course, um, put Drew for the referral on where you heard about us at, so that way we
Okay.
can know exactly where you came from, and we could even potentially provide you a discounted rate for signing up. The
Okay.
only thing that we have access to sign up for at the moment on the website is the digital course. It's $250 a month, so it's super exclusive. All the content, all the information that I have on business credit is in the course. And it'll teach you business credit for a fraction of the price of consulting. Consulting is a little bit more expensive, but we get
Okay.
more in depth and we do one-on-one coaching and teach you all of the underwriting criteria. So we try to have different avenues for different level of clients. That way, we're not leaving anybody out.
Okay, okay, okay. So you literally have like products like for somebody who can like start up like, man, you know what? I may got this amount or whatever, man. I don't know. I may want to try them out or whatever the case may be. You guys got products that can actually like kind of build up to whatever type of assistance that this business may need, right?
Yeah,
Correct?
100%.
Okay.
Because with anything tailored as specific as credit, you're going to have different factors determining what type of funding is available. So it's not like a one size fits all. For if you're just trying to establish a business credit history,
Mhm.
there's a particular sequence of accounts that you would want to go through to establish a payday score. Get Experian business credit, as well as like Equifax reporting history, to
Okay.
kind of say your business is technically fundable, but depending on what your business specific needs are would kind of determine how I would one-on-one consult you to get access to funding for your business. It's going to be different if you're a trucking business than if you're a real estate brokerage.
Okay. 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 Good. 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 So I was wondering. I had a gentleman, and I swore I seen that you. And this is another question that I wanted to ask. Dealing with business reports. That's something that you deal with hands on because there's a lot of clients may not go on ahead, man, and may be savvy about where to go get their business report, and how a business report should look. Is that something that you help assist with too, of helping educate this? And is that something that's offered through the do it yourself, or is that something that's more of a one-on-one that you guys offer?
Absolutely. So we teach that in our digital course as well as our
Okay.
consulting. Like my goal as a business owner, as well as someone that teaches funding and business credit, is to
Okay.
educate you, the entrepreneur, the business owner, on how to first off establish credibility and then how to create fundability for your business. So we 100% are we're partnered with NAV, which is an
Okay.
affiliate of ours, and you can
Yeah.
log into NAV and you can get access to, like, I'll even put a link in here for you, Drew. You can add into the comments for a
Okay.
free
Okay.
credit report from NAV.
Okay.
But yeah, we absolutely want to teach you, the business owner, how to gain access to your business credit report and then teach you how to maintain it. So that way, no matter what time frame it is that you're dealing with us, you know how to establish as well as maintain your business credit history.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
I don't,
uh I
I
just
just,
went ahead and I put that link here in the comments. So it's right there on the screen now that you sent me for the qualification. I put that on there so they can go there.
awesome.
They should be able to click on that link as well, or go right to it. And that'll be the automated one, right? You said?
Correct. Yes. So we actually automated that, and it uses conditional logic to determine what your business is eligible for based
Okay.
off of your answers.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. And also, you had this is the other one that I'm getting ready now to go on ahead and drop now on the comments. So make sure you guys go to that one first. This is the next one that's going to be dropped into the comments. Look at this. And this is um for the nav, right?
Yeah, this is actually a free month of NAV. So since we're
Okay.
partnered with them, they give us an
Okay.
affiliate link. We'll get you a free month of service. So if you're even curious what your business credit report is, you can log into NAV without using the link and the discount code, but it'll just give you a letter grade, whether it's an A, a B, or a question mark because it hasn't been established yet.
Okay.
If you use this link and use this discount code, this will allow you to view the actual reports for Dun& Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax and tell you what the score is. Now, keep in mind that business credit scores are different than personal credit scores.
Mm-hmm.
With Dun & Bradstreet and Experian, it's based off of a 0 to 100 scale. So we're
Okay.
shooting for 80 or above. That's the equivalent of a 750 to 800 or
Okay.
750 to 850. Equifax is going to be a little bit different just because they have a different scale and they have about 10 different measuring factors. So ideally, we like to see above a 350, and I believe that model goes up to a 550 for the scale that they use.
Okay, okay. And now, we can kind of talk about this real quick. You shared, I think this was a day ago, an Experian business report. And the thing you said on the Experian business report, you was just like, so now most of you guys would think that this is a failing score. And we all know anything below a 70, 75, right, is way lower than what you should be. You should be above that in the 80s or above for Experian. And the person had a 27, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And what did you say on your Instagram about why the score was so low? Because automatically we thought I thought on my personal, oh man, this guy must didn't pay his bill. It must be negative. It must be going against him. And your
Yeah,
response was
it looked like he missed like 4 or 5 payments, man. The score was super low, but not all the time, especially with business credit. Does it mean it's a lack of on-time payment history? But rather, in this particular case, it was just a lack of account history.
wow.
So, like, Experian had somewhere along the line, whether it was through the guy opening the bank account or maybe establishing a Dun & Bradstreet number or making a purchase from a company with cash that was recognized as a business account, they had generated an Experian report for the business.
Okay.
So they had the business name and the business address. I can't remember the exact date on that particular one, somewhere between like 6 months and a year ago when it was
Okay.
established. But they assigned a score to that credit profile, even though it was a low score. It wasn't because of bad payment history. It was just because there was a lack of activity. There weren't any active trade lines. So they automatically assigned a low score indicating risk because they don't have any previous history. then they're at high risk for new activity until a score has been established or a higher score has been established.
Wow. I ran into an issue with a client, man, and he he was going for the what's hot right now, we could talk about it on here, which is the Sam's Club MasterCard no PG, and he was ecstatic. He was just like, Drew, I heard that you got to have about over 5 trade lines. He had 8 trade lines on there. Hadn't missed a payment or nothing like that. When the trade lines reported, he went from an 80 experience score, 80, 85, all the way down to a 43, man. And he didn't know what happened. He said, dude, I've paid all my bills. There's nothing that I'm paying. They're like, what's really going on at this point, man? So what, could you explain that? What happened?
Yeah, I was like, man, you're leaving me here in suspense. I'm dying to know what happened.
Yeah. No. He got denied with his the one thing, man. He got denied on his business credit because he said, man, hey, I think he had 8 Experian trade lines on Dun & Bradstreet. I think he had 12 on Dun & Bradstreet. On his Equifax, I think he had 5. So he had a nice plethora of a little bit of everything, and it was a nice mix. But he literally had a 43 credit score, man, for his Experian, and they denied him. He was crushed, and he had 2 accounts with Synchrony, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's crazy. So one thing that I would always suggest doing is they actually have like a financial credibility rating, and they'll tell you the factors that are involved in the decision.
Okay.
Hold on, I got to plug in, my computer is about to die here. But they have factors that are included in the decision, and it'll show you what the risk factors are. So, I mean, it could have been a number of different variables. More than likely, probably what happened is most of these vendors, whenever they report to Experian, they have a specific date that they report that information.
Yeah.
Now, if you have limited history, or you have 4 or 5 accounts or 8 accounts total, and you get 4 or 5 new accounts that report that month, if you have high balances are reported differently on business credit than they are with personal credit. With personal credit, you actually get like your total available, and then it's predicated against your current balance to create your utilization. With business credit, they only report the maximum amount that you borrow. So if you have a $10,000 account and you spend $1,000 on that account, it's not going to show 10% utilization. It's going to show 100% utilization until you pay your current balance down.
Wow. So business credit, that's a gem that some people didn't know. I know you're plugging up what you got to plug up, Tim.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So
how is it? Is it better?
Yeah, we're good. We got power.
Yeah, I do. Good. I'm getting, as I'm talking to you, I'm getting all kind of texts that there are some business owners that is on this live right now, and they are loving what you're talking about. And so I'm excited to even hear this, that they would do me a side text about this. So I literally, they got some people listen, and I'm going to answer this one question from this one specific text that just came through. I have a lady, her and her husband has a business. He's a trucker. He has been in trucking for years. And he truly desires to want to grow his business, also want to get funding because he wants to kind of get some trucks and wants to expand with that, as well as, she wants to go ahead and expand a newfound business that she has. What advice could you give to her and some things that you can do that would actually help them out, to make sure that they are navigating themselves into the right direction?
Well, again, kind of, jumping back to like the beginning of the conversation about, the issue with the funding and having to fully leverage your personal credit, is start creating financial credibility. Like that's one of the things that we teach our clients is how to incorporate lender compliance, which are basic foundational skills to growing a business anyways. So like the trick is to first off, just get started, jump in and get started, establish a company, go file your articles of incorporation for the new business, file the articles, and then start setting up all the back end stuff like the website. And it doesn't even have to be like, a full out website. It can be just a landing page. Hey, coming soon. This is the name of the business. Get a business phone number, and then once you have those things, go to, create a Facebook business page, create a Google My Business account, create a Trust Pilot, any one of these number of things that list your business information is going to do one of two things for you. First, it's going to create financial credibility, because whenever somebody, a lender or whoever it is, goes to Google and they research your business, they're able to find you. The second thing it does, and again, this is where it becomes a foundational layer, is it creates backlinks. So if you're trying to generate web-based business, part of the algorithm in SEO, or search engine optimization, is going to be backlinks. So like, they determine whether or not your website is trustworthy, and it's based off of whether or not other websites reference your business or your website.
Okay.
So just by creating that, it creates a little bit more worthiness. It creates a little bit more development for your business. And then some of these things can also help you scale as well. Like even with Trustpilot, is like if a client lands on your page and they see a Trustpilot review, or a review in specific, opposed to a business that doesn't have a review, you're like 80% more likely to gain a potential client.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just small stuff like that. Establish a business banking account. I can't stress enough how much I love credit unions, because credit unions are decentralized forms of finance. They reinvest back into their business owners and their clients, opposed to stocks and high risk investments.
Okay.
So if you develop a relationship with a credit union or a business bank, you're more likely to get a higher approval for whatever type of funding you're requesting, whenever the time comes. So
Okay.
just little things like this will help you get a new business, off the ground, and help you set yourself up for funding. As far as like the existing business, the trucking business, I
Yeah.
can't stress how important business credit is, because like if you own a trucking company, you're in logistics or supply chain, or you just do transport. There's companies like International and Freightliner that have no PG vehicle or fleet financing options available. Most people don't know that, and they're not sufficient as far as the business credit is concerned to be able to get approved for something like that. So if you start developing the history now, whenever you come to a point where you're financially able to come up with a down payment for a new truck, you could potentially get it. Again, in the business name, it's going to be over 6,500 pounds, so that's 100% a write off. Plus, it's being used for business. You know what I mean? So you're generating more money back into the economy.
So you're saying that potentially the one of these two business owners who are on here, that literally potentially their trucking business could literally get a 100% written off on a new vehicle, depending on how it's set up. Is that what I understood correctly, Tim?
Yeah, 100%. So I mean that's 100% the cost of doing business, for a trucking company. Plus it meets the weight requirement, so you can absolutely write that off. It'll be a little bit different on whether or not it's financed, on how you write it off though.
Okay.
I know like if it's over the 6,500 pounds, the way that they would write it off is a percentage. They can write off so much of the um, I think it's the depreciated value over the course of time. You can do it
Okay.
all in the first year if it meets the criteria, or you can do it a percentage per year. But again, I would recommend speaking with a tax professional whenever it comes to that thing. Like specifically for the business and what the law is, in your state, as well as what the updated law is, because it's always subject to change as well. But 100%, it is a business expense. It's like the biggest business expense you have if you're a trucking company.
Wow. I get a lot of information, Tim, from a lot of people who are in the trucking game, and I do. They watch the channel faithfully every single week, and they wanted to know, like, man, you know what? Outside of, because they don't even have things situated. I got one guy. He said, I may have a gas card through his factoring company or something like that. Like that was the only thing he had, was the gas card through his factoring company. I was just like, well, man, you got to establish more than that. And he's been in business for years. Does he know what's probably the potential that he actually has of funding available for his business? He's got all his records, files all his taxes, does everything every year. I mean, Does he know what he may have potentially available for him if he does wanted to expand? And he just never knew. He said that the banks told him to run his personal credit. You just told me that just by having, that truck and the business he's had for years and filing taxes, that he don't even have to have a PG, which is a personal guarantee, which is using your own personal credit to be able to go and fund a new truck or even expand his fleet. That it can all be done through the business name only, correct?
Yeah, that's providing the business has this, substantiated business credit established.
Okay.
So, it's great if you have like tax documents, you've been, in business for years and you have legitimate sources of revenue. But like in order to get a business truck in the business name and without personally guaranteeing it, it's 100% predicated going to be based off of the business credit
Got,
history.
got
So because he has all those other things going well for him, he definitely would be eligible for that, providing we can help him establish the business credit history. It'd be
okay.
really difficult for just like, one gas card for him to get an OPG account. But we
Okay.
can 100% help him develop that business credit history to where he is eligible.
Oh,
He's
so
meeting
you
all
got
the other requirements.
right. So you guys can help build that out if they decided to come to you and help build that out so that they could go on ahead and get business financing for that, for those other trucks to build out.
Absolutely.
See,
Absolutely.
See, that's why the business building firm is so important, because you guys are like literally taking people who don't even know, like especially with this link right here that we actually have posted, don't even know what their business score is, or even if they have generated a business score. And with that link that I posted on the screen, y'all guys, make sure y'all click on that. Tim said that you guys can get a free month of a business score through NAV, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So they will require like your credit card information, but you can cancel it at any time. So even if you put it in today and you cancel tomorrow, it still gets you access to your credit report
Okay.
just by subscribing and using the discount code.
Okay. And so make sure you guys click on that, subscribe, and use that, because that's big time helpful for some people, man, who don't know what their business credit looks like. I had one gentleman told me, he said, man, I have 6 credit cards. And I said, oh man, that's good and everything, man. He told me, he say, but yeah, but I use it for my business, but they're my personal. And I remember telling him, I said, well, dude, you're negating the fact that you need to establish business credit. And there are a lot of people who truly desire, Tim, to establish business credit, but they don't know how. They don't know where to start from, what to do. Is NAV a really good starting point? Or should they just probably reach out to you so you can probably explain a little bit more in depth to them?
I would say both. So NAV's a great starting point. To give you an idea where you're at, where your business credit is at, you can see
Mhm.
exactly what's reporting. So it's like with personal credit. You can't fix your personal credit or repair your personal credit or build your personal credit if you don't see the report. You have to know what's there.
Yeah.
So once you see what's there, then it'll give us an idea on how we can grow and build it. Now, if you've never had any business credit in the past or you've never had any business accounts, there's still a potential you may have like business credit reporting history. There's
Okay.
probably just super limited, or you'd have the low score like the client of mine did a few days ago, where it's a 27, which still indicates really high risk because it's such a limited history. So
Okay.
100%, if there's like something specific that you need for your business, we'd love to get you on the phone, have a consultation, and discuss what your options are.
Okay. Good. And they can, you guys, I'm going to put that link right back up and show that again. That's this link right here, www.businessfundingfirm.com /qualification. And if they click on that link, they'll be able to go on ahead, man, and get directly to you as well, right?
Yeah, they will. It'll take you through just a few lists of questions based off of your business information, how much revenue your business is making, how long you've been established, as well as like your personal credit, just to give us an idea of what your profile looks like, and it
Okay.
give you an idea of what you qualify for once you get through the question, and it'll also send us that information so we can schedule a phone call with you.
Good. So you guys, that link is literally posted up, man, right here. You see it, it's on the screen, man. Make sure you guys click on it, copy, paste, or whatever. It's right there. And for those and everything, man, who may need to jot it down and go to somewhere else, jot it down, go to somewhere else, man, and make sure that you guys get that a hold of that link, man, because I'm pretty sure that Tim will be able to help you guys out, man. Oh, well, talk to us, man. Literally, my wife said I love credit unions too. Shout out to you. She loves credit unions, man. She's a big Navy Federal girl, man. Shout out to her pops, man, for that, man. So she's diehard Navy Federal. You know, Navy Federal, one of the most generous banks that are out there, whether it's personal or business funding. So for those who haven't heard of Navy Federal or who have not went on ahead and finally signed up for Navy Federal, they may want to go ahead and get with Navy Federal, right, Tim?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love Navy Federal. They're like one of the most generous banks. I love the internal credit score they use. I actually had a good friend of mine, was set up with Navy Federal. I guess his granddad or someone was in the Army. But anyways, he went in, he got him a little account. He had like a 550. And after 2 months of having a secured credit card with him, they bumped him to $15,000. So Navy Fed is awesome. Develop that relationship, have good history, and you'll have really good results. Of course, results may vary for different people, but that was just the best experience I've heard of with those guys. It was
Well,
pretty breathtaking.
I got you one. I got one up on you on that. I
Let's
seen
hear
a
it.
gentleman with my own two eyes. Turned around, he had a 580 credit score. He turns around, he applies. They only give him, I think it was $2,000 to start off with, right? He turns around. He does. Navy Federal has the, what is it, the 91.3 rule? The 91.3, which is 3 months, after 3 months, or the 91st day of after you've applied for that Navy Federal credit card, you can apply for a credit limit increase. He applies for a credit limit increase, pushes the max. He's still at a 580 3 months later. He's at a 580. Listen, they give him an increase of $25,000 on his credit limit increase
Nice.
with a 580 TransUnion credit score. I said, what in the world? Who's giving out? I don't know any lending institution who's giving out 25 grand off of a 580 credit score. But Navy Federal will put some people in the game that do otherwise, man, ain't got no game, man. I'm not lying to you. They're very generous, as Tim can tell you.
Love credit unions. They're not the only ones that do that. A lot of the other credit unions they'll provide similar approvals as well. I always recommend to all my new clients doing a little research on the credit unions that are available, see what the requirements are to get in. And sometimes, like even for like a teacher's credit union, it'll be something as simple as living in a particular county or working in the particular county just to get your foot in the door. And we've had so many good results with credit unions. The approvals are typically like 90% of the approvals are higher than any of the other banks that are available.
Is that because the credit unions are in there to try to see if that they can gain the trust of the people and gain the consumer part of the people, where the other banks are actually, chopping down and saying, nah, you guys are not good enough. Talk to us when you get your 700, 750, 800, talk to us when you get those scores and a more built out file. Is that technically what it is, probably with that?
Well, with most of the like large financial institutions, whether it be like Chase or Bank of America or US Bank or any of like the large national retail banks, those guys usually take and reinvest the bank money into
Okay.
profitable returns, whether it be small businesses that are low risk or large businesses that are maybe a little bit less of a percentage of interest, but they're even less of a risk.
Mhm.
Whereas like the credit unions, they're decentralized, so they don't take that money and reinvest it outside of the bank. They have to reinvest it back into the bank. So
Okay.
their ideal is pick the invest it back into the people that are the lowest risk. And that's why they have like the 91 day, the 3 by 91 day rule or whatnot, to where if you can
Yeah.
provide a relationship for 90 days without ruining it or without messing it up, it's low enough risk for them to provide you with an approval for it. Now, if you go into that same bank and you have like a 780 or an 800 or that same credit union, you're probably going to get a similar approval,
Okay.
$25,000 because you have that good history.
Okay.
But the credit unions are just as lenient if you have a business especially
Okay.
if you have business revenue coming in and you're pumping it through their credit union. They're going to have to reinvest it back into someone, whether it's
Okay.
another small business owner. I'm sure they allocate it, per their consumer clients and then their business clients as well, or their commercial clients as well. And they divvy proportions of what they have available of the money in the bank.
Okay. So I got some other questions because people, they're inboxing me, and I was like, dude, they should just ask you right here on the thing, man. Right now, one guy asked. He said, man, listen, I have a whole lot of cash. Can you asked him what could I do to leverage my cash that I have available?
There's a lot of things that you can do. I mean, it really depends on what your long-term goals are. So
Okay.
of course there's automation. This is the year of automation. So you can
Yeah.
always do like an Amazon or you can do a Walmart store. We have access to that. For the best returns is available to our clients as well. So that's one of the opportunities, but there are a lot of other alternatives where you could make a return off your profit as well. It just depends on what's your financials and like what's your personal look like. If you have good personal credit, I mean, you may like. I think real estate's about to start turning anyways because the
Okay.
interest is about to start going up. I
Yeah.
think the cost is going to come down a little bit, so that
Okay.
may be a potential for the future here within the next few months. I really like Turo. Turo is great right now.
Okay.
Just with a little bit of cash. There's one of the clients that I was working with actually had a Turo. It wasn't a Turo, it was an Uber method where he was actually purchasing vehicles and leasing them out for a
Okay.
percentage of the profit to people that were underprivileged or didn't have enough credit or enough cash to purchase a vehicle. So he was purchasing vehicles and then he
Mhm.
was renting them out to the people that were driving them, so he could make a profit as well as the people that were driving them could make a profit.
Right.
So there's a lot of different opportunities that are available if you're willing to do a little bit of research and see what is prevalent in your area. Safe as you can always do automation
Okay.
because you're going to make probably 20 to 40% within probably the first 6 to 12 months, and then you're going to be able to scale it based off of credit. But you have to have credit availability to do the automation because
Okay.
again, what they're going to do is they're going to charge your card unless you have a real large amount of cash that you put in the bank and you're just paying every month with your bank account statement. But
Okay.
they're going to charge the card every month for the product that we're buying, and then we're going to resell it out to the potential end user anyhow, and you make a percentage of profit off that. It was the same thing we were talking about
Yeah.
last time we were on here.
Yep. So
Yeah.
for him, and I really have to say this for him and everybody else out there, because now we've got the YouTube where this is gonna go with that algorithm. I want to know, what is it like if a person does come with cash? Is there something, a system? I mean, you did talk about this, where they could put it into this system, their cash, where they can turn it into that credit, where it would be able to help out with the automation. Can you help out with that, Tim?
Yeah, so unfortunately, like yeah, I know me and you had discussed a potential solution for clients,
Yeah.
but because we actually put the business name in the client's name,
Hmm.
if we were to do anything like that, where we're taking control of the credit or whatnot to provide people with opportunity,
Hmm.
it would be really too difficult to report on taxes just because it
Okay.
would be so much money going back and forth, and then it would have to get reported and then claimed and there's not really a feasible way to do that yet, but hey, you never know. We may have an opportunity for something like that in the future, depending
Okay.
on how we're able to structure it.
Okay. So is it possible that he could possibly put it on a secure card or use it as a cash access, like Divvy or something like that, or Brex?
Well, that's going to be really predicated on, I guess, how much cash you have, as well as like what your incoming financials look like as well. I
Okay.
would assume you could probably put it in a bank account and
Yep.
pull the money out of the bank account on a monthly basis and
Okay.
then reinvest it back in. You would just have to have a really large supply of cash because
Okay.
on average we do like $50,000 a month worth of credit lines
Right. Right.
for the automation store. So I mean, the more you have access to, the more you can make off of it. But yeah, you'd have to figure out what works best for you as far as that goes, and have enough money to be able to do it.
Okay, okay. And see, and that's what a lot of people are asking, they got like, man, you know what? I got cash, I got all that. I'm like, dude, we got to talk about this, because you just can't in a bank's eyes, say, hey, you haven't deposited all of this money or not. And I think, what is it? Anything over 5,000 reported to the IRS anyway.
Oh yeah, they changed it to $600.
Oh,
I know
really?
they were talking about it. I heard that they were reporting anything over $600.
Well, I
I
do.
think that was, as a matter of fact, I want to say that's why, like Venmo,
Yeah.
they weren't allowing you to, like, say if somebody sent you money, they weren't allowing you to take that money and then send it back to somebody else. You would have to cash it out first. But now that they changed the reporting law, or after that reporting law came out, I noticed now if somebody sends you money, you can send it back out. And I think it's that $600 threshold was the reason for it.
Well, and that is with the new administration has implemented in with the PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, correct? All of that
Mhm.
being reported. So will they have to? And this is another good question. Will they have to go ahead and file that on taxes this year? And especially, I've got some clients who had PayPal, Cash App as actually a business expense. Is that something that they can go get business funding off of, as well as reporting? Do they have to report it for tax? So it's a kind of a
I mean,
twofold question.
technically speaking, as long as that money goes into a bank account and it's accounted for, then you can get funding based off it. You can revenue-based funding off of it. I've done it myself.
Okay.
Now as far
Okay.
as, like, reporting taxes on it, um, I don't know, maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, but I believe in, like, honesty and integrity, and I'm not trying to get audited and, like, lose everything that I've worked for, or, like,
Yeah.
have to pay back taxes on anything. I'd rather just, handle it from the gate,
Right.
for everything that's reported, or every bit of business that I do, I report it, and then, of course, come up with tax write-offs
Right.
to subsidize some of the tax and the tax credits, so I don't have to pay as much at the end of the year, but I report, every bit of money that comes in from clients,
Okay.
just so I don't get audited. So I would definitely recommend doing that, unless it's something for personal use or it's not for a business.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Good. And I know that there has been a lot of people been asking the same thing. And this was the other question, that if they were using it in their business, even though it was going through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, if they're using it in a personal, is there a way they can report it to their business? Because they wanted to get the credit to the business, even though they was pulling it from the personal to put and deposit in the business.
That really depend on the way that the business is structured. So if you're
Okay.
structured as like a sole proprietor where you're assuming all liability for the business,
Okay.
even at that, you're still commingling funds. What you need to do is just set up a business banking account and
Okay.
run all your business funding, or any money that comes in for your business through that business banking account. That's the
Okay.
proper way to do it.
Okay.
As far as like reporting history, like with a lot of these revenue-based accounts for funding, they're just going to log into your business banking.
Okay.
They're not going to log into your personal. They won't do that. You
Okay.
can attach your personal, and then potentially you could do that because they'll do multiple accounts. I just don't know what their criteria looks like for, like, dollar cost average, with commingled accounts. I don't know how they do that.
Okay.
But I know for a fact that, they will pull your business banking, and you can attach additional accounts. I just don't know how receptive they will be of those different accounts.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people don't know, those tax laws that have been taking place. Like, people showed it and they say, yeah, anything over $600, they're reporting and stuff like that from Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and all of that uh, throughout this administration. And people didn't know how to start navigating themselves through that. Should they go ahead and start seeking, a financial, like a CPA or something like that, man, to be able to help navigate what they've been doing with that money throughout this past year?
I would suggest it if you have if in my experience, if like every bit of my my business finances goes through a CPA. I take all my information to a tax accountant. That way he's up on, he's privy up on tax law. So
Yep.
he's got a better understanding of like what has to be documented, what doesn't, what has to be recorded, what taxes have to come out on, and where I can get breaks at.
Okay.
He's got more knowledge than I do. So I trust him more than I do myself, by
Yeah.
going up and like researching all the tax law. There's a few things that, because I want to know that, I'm taking advantage of all the breaks that are available to me too. So I do my own research. And
Okay.
then sometimes I'll reference that information to the tax accountant and say, well, what about this? I read, this year that this is an exemption. Can we take advantage of that? Because again, like with tax accountants, they're not up to date on every single new law that takes into effect just because it's so subject to change.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So there you guys have it. Tim is definitely letting you know, man. Make sure you seek professional help. Don't even worry about it or nothing like that. Don't try it yourself or nothing like that. Seek professional help. Did you hear? And this was another question. No, our time is running, but so the everybody was asking, was the PPP loan gonna be on the taxes this year? Do you know of anything like that? And I said, no, that's a loan. That's through the SBA and stuff like that.
So with the PPP, they had like 1 year of no payments anyways.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't assume that you would have to report it on taxes just because like they kind of wrote off the first year anyhow. But again, I
Okay.
would definitely recommend speaking with a CPA prior to it.
Okay.
But there's a lot of exceptions this year. Like even with the money that they paid out in California, I know
Yeah.
they were sending out W-2s, so like you can get that money as well as like a tax credit if you didn't
Okay.
receive the entire amount that they sent out.
Okay.
So again, there's nothing wrong with research. I research everything that I have interest in,
Okay.
and then I find somebody that's professional to do it, and then I follow up with them with the research that I found out. So that way, like I'm up on information, so I know like what's available to me. I didn't get any
Okay.
of the PPP money, so I didn't have any
Yeah.
reason to research it.
Yeah.
As far as like getting a tax break on it. But that's a good question. I would just do a little bit of research and then follow up with a certified tax professional.
Good. I had a lot of business owners who I literally spoke with Tim, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to ask Tim this question because they said either their business, within the past year, they was able to take advantage of the PPP or the EIDL loan to be able to go ahead, man, and help kind of bankroll over their payroll as well as some expenses that they had." And I said, they wanted to know what that hurt them if they decided to try to do some funding or whatever. I said, well, I'll ask my guy Tim now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. As far as like the funding is concerned on the IDL or PPP,
Mhm.
I know those started reporting. Started reporting in two different manners. Some of the loans I've seen report as a loan, like on the Experian Business Credit Report, but most
Really?
all of them, yeah, most all of them report as UCC filings against the business. So
Wow.
they're not like or derogatory, so they won't hurt your business for having it, but
Right.
just know when you're seeking funding or you go into a bank or a financial institution, it could prevent you from getting like an SBA loan just
Okay.
because you have outstanding debt in the business. And it may
Okay.
prevent you from getting funding depending on the source. So if you're
Okay.
looking for credit lines, it probably won't hurt you. If you're looking for small business loans, you're
Okay.
probably going to experience some issues because you have an outstanding loan already.
Wow. 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 You guys heard it out of Tim's mouth himself, man. I'm just like, dude, he's dropping some serious knowledge on here, man. And I gotta let me know, man. They saying, yeah, this is great info. They was giving the eyes for the guy who had the 580 and got the $20,000 increase. And my wife saying it's great info. Listen, I would love to know, man, what's in the pipeline next for Tim Roberts and the business funding firm, the business funding firm. Let people know what's in the pipeline. What new do you have available? Because I've seen something where I got a lot of business owners, just like one of those other guys, who turned around and he was just like, man, you know what? I'm leveraging my personal because my business, I didn't know how to have access to it. And I got people right now who their personal is just really hit and they're trying to access capital for the business. I mean, what do you say? Do you have any programs or new programs that are coming out for, vice versa, any of those?
We do. I'm starting to run out of time, so I'm gonna have to end it with this question. I wish we could talk for hours because I know we'd never run out of information.
Yeah.
But in regards to that question, we absolutely do have methods for that. We have connections and we have affiliate partnerships with about everyone in the industry. And by everyone, I mean like literally everyone that's in the industry, whether it comes to um, SBA loans, term loans, merchant cash advances, credit cards, or where it comes to bridge loans. So even if you're over leveraged on your personal and you need access for a bridge loan just to cover you while we can build out your business credit profile, we 100% have access to do that as well. just because there's a need for it in the industry. And like I said, usually it's not a lack of like available resources that people have an issue with. It's the lack of knowledge. So if
Okay.
you need that type of information, or you have that type of issue and you need a connection, we 100% do have that connection and we can help you out.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it himself, man. Thank you, Tim, again, man, for your time, man, being on the show, man. They know that they can definitely reach out to you, man. Again, man, at Business Funding Firm. At that's on Instagram. They can follow you at Business Funding Firm. And also, if they need to reach out to you through email, is at businessfundingfirm.com, correct? Or is it info at
Info at
businessfundingfirm.com?
businessfundingfirm.com. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
100%. I'm super humbled, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on your show. I love what you're doing, Lambo Drew,
my
and
guy.
I look forward to doing it again with you, my guy.
My guy. Thanks again, man. We thank you, Tim. Have an awesome week, man. You guys thank Tim, man. We see you on the show next time, my man.
All right,
Later, Tim.
sounds good. Thank you so much, Drew.
Not a problem. You too, brother. All right, man.
See
So y'all see how to go ahead and get a hold of Tim, man. He was definitely gracious enough to give us, man, some serious time on here. Guys, Lee, we've been on this thing, man, for 2 hours. If you guys haven't had anything to show how to leverage or anything in, I'm telling you, you guys have learned some serious stuff tonight, even how to look at credit reports, even how to look at, man, your personal as well as business funding, man. You guys want to be able to get a hold of Tim Roberts, man. I'm telling y'all, shoot him a DM, shoot him a message, shoot him whatever you can shoot him, man. Whether it's an email, whether it's Instagram, follow him on Instagram at Business Funding Firm, man. Follow him, man. Do whatever you can do, man. I'm telling you guys, man, because that is huge. What Tim dropped on here. He dropped some nuggets. PPP, EIDL, commerce, business, e-commerce, leveraging assets, kind of showing you guys what to do, showing you guys what not to do, staying out of tax information. Man, the guy dropped so much stuff. Y'all just need to go ahead, check the replay. And then I'm telling y'all, man, just check the replay because that is my guy, man, Mr. Tim Roberts, man. Shout out to him and everything, man, for really showing up and showing over 2 hours, man. We've been on this thing. Of some wonderful information, man, that he gave out, wonderful testimony and everything. All right, man. So listen, also, man, follow us and everything, man, here. Thank you for watching, man. Follow us, man, on Instagram at Lambo Drew underscore TMT. Follow me at Lambo Drew underscore TMT. Follow Revenue at Abdi Simi Givings. Abdi Simi Givings. Following everything, man. Mr. Jamal Titus at Credit Maximization or confessions underscore a underscore crypto underscore addict. Follow Jamal there, and follow Steve at World 3684. World 3684, man. I'm trying to tell you guys the information is on the screen. Follow us there, man, because the money team is definitely, man, in the building for real, man. For what we've been doing, man. Hopefully you guys had a great time tonight, man. You know, tonight I want to end tonight, man, again, with a prayer, because you've definitely been on the Leverage Show, man, because you guys have got a lot of information, man. So that way you guys can enjoy your week, go forward, be mindful, steadfast, and all that good stuff, man. So dear gracious Heavenly Father God, we just thank you, Lord God, for the show again, another show. We thank you for Tim Roberts. We thank you for all the information he dropped. We thank you, Lord, that the people will be able to reach out to Tim, to be able to take advantage of some of the jewels, some of the nuggets that he dropped. Reach out to my guy, Tim, man, and bless him in his business even further. And for every viewer who's out there who literally has been having a great week or who's had a rough week, we ask that you would continue to bless them, watch over them, help guide them, help move up on their life, and help begin to start straightening some things out upon their life. Encourage them, let you know that you have not left them, neither have you lost them, but you are empowering them to be able to go ahead, man, and be overcomers, to be world changers, to be dominant in the business world, to be dominant in relationships, to be dominant in the workplace, to be dominant in everything their hands should touch, and that their families will be called blessed, that their lives will be called blessed, that everything around them will be called blessed because you have favored their life. In your name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. So you guys have an awesome, great week, man. Told you we had to end that with a prayer. Hopefully you enjoyed the Leverage Show. Hopefully it has leveraged you, man, mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, and everything above, man. I'm telling you, that's what we do. We come on here to empower you week in and week out. Make sure you guys go on YouTube, like that YouTube, subscribe, love the YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell at Lambo Drew TMT, Lambo Drew TMT, and make sure that you guys are tuning in next week, man, in the broadcast, man. Well, we definitely got more heat for y'all. I told y'all all February, we are coming with some serious heat. Tim Roberts gave y'all got some serious heat. And if y'all really want more heat, y'all make sure y'all reach out to him. Don't just go ahead and allow the information that he dropped y'all a free nav account for y'all to do for 30 days. He also dropped in everything in the description, if you go back to the replay, of how you can be able to get in contact with him, man. With the qualification. I think it's business funded firm / qualification. And then that'll go ahead and kind of send an automated response so that you can go ahead and reach back to him. So please, please, please go support my guy, Tim Roberts, man, in the business building, the business funding firm, man, because he definitely, man, has the right tools. Whether your business is a startup or whether your business is just a mind, a thought, like, oh, well, I want to start a business. I don't know if I want to start a business. Literally, he can help you, or you've been an existing business owner. You've been there for years. I know Tim can help you get from whether it's a couple $1,000s to all the way to, if you need a couple million, hey, brother, he's the man to see. I'm trying to tell y'all that right now. All right, so listen, y'all make sure y'all tune into next week's broadcast and every other week. I'm telling you, every Tuesday, we're dropping stuff. This month, we're focused, the month of February, we're literally focusing on focusing your vision. The next one is focusing on your finances, which anything that comes with financial. And last but not least, focusing on your faith. So you don't want to miss a Tuesday because we're dropping some serious stuff. Catch us in everything, man. Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time, man. You guys want to definitely catch this broadcast. I love you guys, man. Have an awesome week, man. Y'all make sure y'all crush it, man. And thanks again and everything, man, for coming for another edition of The Leverage Show. Love you guys. We out of here. Lambo Drew in the building. Ha ha.